So in this video, I'm going to show you how we made this heart ashes pendant. Enjoy. So what we're doing is making a similar kind of pattern to what's on this silver locket in the 3D model. And then when we print it out, it should have a similar design. Alright, so we've done a couple of designs and we can decide what one we like best out of the two down the line. Just going to print them out and take a look at them in person and see what's what. So we've got a hollowed out back there, that's where all the ashes are going to go in, and then the pattern and the C on the front. So here we have the 3D printed wax model fresh out of the printer, and we've still got all the supports attached. Still needs brushing over to get all of the excess resin off of, but this is what it looks like as soon as it's done. And I'm going to set up a camera and show it being cut away. We're going to have to be careful with this one where it's quite thin, not to snap it as we're cutting it. Let's see how it goes. So next step we got to do, get rid of these little tiny remaining supports on there, and we got to give it a light paper up to get off any of the marks that you can see from the 3D printing. But we have to be very careful of this delicate pattern because it's only maybe not even a mil deep. So if we go too deep in buffing it, it's going to come right off. And there's that C on the front. We might have to bring that out a bit later on, but we'll see how it comes out after the cast. What we're going to do now is duct tape up this perforated flask just to cover up all them holes, so when we pour it, it obviously doesn't go everywhere by falling out of the holes. That'll do, ready to pour in the top there, and that bottom will be sealed off with a rubber bit at the bottom, and that's it. Now we've just got to mix the investment up and pour it in. We need a ratio of 40:1 on this, so we've got to make sure we properly weigh everything out, and if you don't, you're not going to get the perfect results that we're looking for, so it's very important to use scales. Next up, we're going to vacuum this, get all the air bubbles out. I'll be a master of taking this off one-handed soon. Right, let's get the lid back on. Make a nice seal around it. Push that down. And there you go. That's the pressure gauge going up. In a few minutes we'll see the bubbles, or in 30 seconds. Right, we're going to release the vacuum. Once the pressure's gone, take this lid off, pour it in here, and the process of pouring it in this flask is going to add the wear back into it. So we're going to have to re-vacuum it. Vacuum, lid on, and another 2 minutes or so. And that's pretty much done. So we're going to release that. Turn that off. One hand. Whoa. Without launching it, and that is ready to set now. So we're going to leave that for a couple of hours to harden, and then we're going to burn all the wax away. So what we've got now is the investment's all set. Feels like concrete almost. What we're going to do now, take the rubber bottom off. And there's our wax. And what we're going to do, take this duct tape off, put it in the furnace, and when it heats up, it will melt this wax out the bottom, and we'll be left with a hollow bit inside here that we can pour the metal into. So we're just going to take this off. And we're going to turn that on once they're all in, and then come back to it later when it's melted out. So this is what we're going to be making the heart out of. A sprue that we've previously used to cast something else. That'll work just fine. And in that goes. A few minutes, that'll be all melted. So we're going to give it a mix, pop in some borax to get the metal all nice. We want to make sure it's flowing. That'll do us for now, another few minutes, and we'll give it a pour out. So we're going to get the flask out of the furnace, fill it with vacuum, and we're going to pour the gold in. And that should be all good. So let's quench this, see what it's looking like. It's not necessary to have that spitting everywhere, but just looks kind of cool. God, this water's hot. It's lost. There we go. That's looking good. I'm very sure we'll be able to tidy that up. Now if you notice, there's no jump ring on top and no saddle. I normally like to do that bit by hand. Find it comes out a bit better, and I've always just done it that way. So that's the way I'm going to keep doing it. Thickened that inside area up now. Now I'm just going to tidy that down a bit and then go over the front and get it looking all nice and ready to be polished up. So after the casting, the surface is always a little bit rough, so we're just going to paper it to bring it down nice and smooth again. Just normally takes a couple of times going over it, a few different grades. So now the two halves are tidied up, just going to turn up a jump ring, cut it off and solder it on top of one of the hearts there. So what we're going to do now is give them a pretty decent polish, and that means when they're together we haven't got to do much work on them. So this last step, what we're going to do is fuse this together using the laser machine. This ridge that separates them, we're going to laser a bit of wire in there, go all the way around, and that will seal it up and essentially make it one thing. And can't really film through here, so I'm going to have to show you when it's done. That's all been sealed up along the edge now, so I'm just going to grab a buff stick and lightly smooth that over and then give it one final quick polish, and that should be all good. And there we have the final product. It's got that mirror finish on it. Everything's all sealed up and it's now ready to collect. And I'm sure that's going to be a happy customer right there.